Before religion had a name, something was already happening. Humans were burying their dead with flowers, painting animals on cave walls by firelight, leaving offerings at the mouths of rivers, carving figures out of bone with no practical purpose. That instinct is at least 300,000 years old, and it never left you. The oldest known evidence of intentional ritual behavior doesn't come from modern humans. Homo naledi, small-brained, small-bodied, more ancient cousin. They were carrying their dead deep underground and placing them deliberately. No tools, no food, no signs of habitation, just bodies in the dark, arranged with intention. That's the first hint. Ritual behavior isn't a product of big brains and complex theology. It might be something older, something more structural, something baked into the act of being a social creature that knows its companions can disappear. Fast forward to about 40,000 years ago. Anatomically modern humans. Caves in France, Spain, and Indonesia, and on the walls, bison, horses, mammoth. They weren't painted at the cave entrance, right? Where the light is, where people cooked and slept and lived. They were painted deep inside. Chambers so far in that you'd need a sustained flame just to see your hand. The acoustics in these deep chambers are unusual. Sound bounces in ways that feel genuinely disorienting. You weren't looking at art. You were inside something. Not gods. Not yet. At least not in the way we think of them. Animals. The dead. The sky. Water. Fire. And the edges between things. Animals came first, or at least they're the most visible in the record. The line between predator and prey wasn't just practical. It was spiritual. There were rituals before the hunt. Rituals after. You'd return the bones to the earth in a specific way so the animal could come back. Ancient worship gave you that story. Then there were the dead. Across the archaeological record, Neanderthal graves in Iraq packed with pollen, possibly from flowers. The dead were not just disposed of, they were hosted. The dead were still present. Still part of the group, still capable of influence, good or bad, depending on how you treated them. Ancestor veneration isn't a religion, it's a relationship. Your great-great-grandmother probably lit a candle for someone. The instinct goes back further than agriculture. About 10,000 years ago, as humans began settling, planting, watching seasons with new urgency, the sky became a calendar. The sun didn't just rise, it returned. Ancient structures built to align with solstices and equinoxes show up on virtually every continent. These weren't accidents. They were acts of sustained, multi-generational attention. You build what you care about most. But here's the thing that sits strangely when you look at all of this together. It's the threshold, the cave entrance, the boundary between the living and the dead. The moment the sun crosses the horizon, ancient humans didn't seem to worship things so much as they worshipped moments of crossing. Because that's still what most organized religion is structurally built around. Birth, death, marriage, harvest. The specifics changed. The instinct didn't. There's a theory in cognitive science called the hyperactive agency detection device, HADD. If you hear a rustle in the tall grass, you assume predator. Better 1,000 false positives than one missed tiger. That same system, running in a world full of unexplained events, storms, disease, drought, death, would constantly generate the feeling that something was behind it. Worship might not have started as a choice. It might have started as an output of a survival mechanism. And once that feeling of presence existed, humans did what they've always done with relationships. They tried to maintain them. Offerings, reciprocity, rituals, names, stories. The details varied across every culture. The underlying social logic was identical everywhere. The oldest known temple in the world is Göbekli Tepe in the hills of southern Turkey. Approximately 12,000 years old. Built before farming, before pottery, before anything we typically associate with complex, organized civilization. Religion didn't follow civilization, it might have caused it. You didn't come together and then start worshiping. You came together in order to worship. Worship was the response to being conscious in an uncertain universe. It was how early humans held the terror of existence at a manageable distance. The specific forms changed, from ochre-painted caves to stone temples to written scripture to private, wordless practice in a dark room at 2 a.m. That particular feeling that existence is strange, that being here requires some kind of response is still the most common human experience that almost nobody talks about directly. You've just found different walls to put it on.